Hey guys, BreakWizard59 here and welcome back to a look at my newest LEGO custom build, the LEGO Star Wars Imperial Assault Hovertank from Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. Now, before we actually get started into the review, I am filming and uploading this, depending on when you're watching this. The day this video is being uploaded is May the 4th, so happy Star Wars Day to all of you watching then. And what better way to celebrate Star Wars Day than with another awesome LEGO Star Wars custom build or MOC. And again, this is my Rogue One Imperial Assault Hovertank. Now, LEGO did release a set of this back in 2016, like late 2016. This is a set right here. Sadly, I only have the box, can't find the instructions, 75152. And it was a great set. I actually ended up buying 3 of them. But after seeing the film and of course having now more reference pictures, we can see that the set isn't the most accurate. So we once again take a look. Probably the biggest inaccuracy is the fact that you can only fit 2 of these orange crates on the back, because the entire back side is actually kind of shrunk a bit, and that's one big thing I wanted to fix in my build. Another thing, if you look here, you can see, I'm not sure what they're called, but you see these like kind of like vents or these dark bluish gray pieces that are kind of like indented. But there are only 3 of those on the set, while the original tank actually has 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's another thing. And actually, just the design of the front section here is inaccurate, as it does slope down just a bit on the front. And that's again another thing I fixed. Also, this front panel here is a lot longer. This section here is a bit shorter. And again, the back side has also been stretched a bit. And those are kind of the things I kind of improved on. The interior, of course, is much more accurate. You can fit up to 3 Hovertank pilots. I believe the original set can seat 3 or 4. I don't completely remember. But anyways, now let's go ahead and take a look at the build. So I'll get the minifigures out of the way so you can get a look at the tank itself. And let's just go ahead and take a bit of a quick 360-degree spin on it. So here we have a look at the side. And I actually really do like how it looks. Basically, actually what I ended up doing was the entire front section here was extended by 2 studs. So instead of being 6 studs wide, it's now 8 studs. And that kind of makes it actually look a lot nicer, because if I left it 6 studs and just extended this, it kind of looked way too long. But now that I extended it by 2 studs in width and about 4 studs in length, it looks much better. So here's a look at the side. This part here, you can see we have some of those nice indented type of modified bricks. Those are actually accurate to how it is seen in the film. And this is actually kind of cool. So I ended up using, and get a better look. That piece right there is actually like a gold bar in the light bluish gray. I think that looks really nice. That's just a fun little cool piece I used. Moving along to the back of the build, you can see once again nothing much. The back sections are actually exactly same as they were in the set. And then here we have a look at the other side. Same thing, exactly identical to the previous side. But anyways, now here's a look at the front. And that's actually where we're going to go ahead and start off. Alright, so here we have a look at the front of the build. Once again, here you have your large sections in the front. And once again, it was pretty interesting how I made these. Now, if you look, these slits here, they're about 2 studs long. And actually, the piece that I wanted to use in order to make these kind of like downward slopes was this piece here. And sadly, LEGO doesn't make that piece in a light bluish gray color, so that kind of sucked. So I had to actually end up using this kind of like modified piece here. It's seen in a ton of sets where it's like 2 studs sloped but on either side, and that's actually kind of inaccurate. The bottom section is actually flat, so I will be fixing that when LEGO eventually releases a piece of that. But for now, I think it looks pretty good. You have this slope here, and that also is kind of accurate to how it was seen in the film. And then you have your 2 double-barreled blaster in the front. I took off the spring-loaded shooters on the bottom, just enough space for them. And then you have your 2 side blasters, which move up and down. I did replace a lot of the dark bluish gray that was on this build, because I didn't really like the look of the dark bluish gray too much. I added a bit here and there, but for the most part, like these parts were all dark bluish gray. I ended up fixing that, making it light bluish gray. The front panel here is actually a bit different, as I used 1x4 slopes on the sides, but if you look at the original set, they're 1x3 slopes, so that's another kind of thing I fixed, and I think it looks really good. So here's a look at the front panel. Again, another actually inaccuracy I forgot to point out is that the original set, your front hatch isn't actually able to open, and the back hatch isn't really a hatch, it's just the whole thing kind of pops off. So that's kind of what I fixed here. So you have your two hatches, one right over here, and it opens up, so you can get a minifigure's head popping out of there. Second hatch also opens up, and I think that actually looks really nice. I'll just close this hatch for a second so you can see we have a few like studs showing here, and these are in case you want to add like a blaster here. So that's kind of why I left it open. And then you can see some of the other detailing. This is actually accurate to the build. Not exactly sure what they are in the build, maybe some sort of like packs or like some sort of ammunition or just some sort of interesting detailing. But I ended up adding it on, and I think it looks really nice. Moving along, here's once again a better look at the side. I told you about these the modified bricks, and basically what I did here was I ended up adding tiles, but then I also added these modified tiles with a stud on the top. And the reason why is so you can actually take your stormtroopers and actually place them on. So if the stormtroopers want to hop on and get a ride on the hover tank, they can, and all they need to do is just sit down like such. And I think that looks pretty good. So you can fit about 4 or 5, like 4 minifigures probably on each side, because I did 2 sets of studs, and I think that looks pretty good. Anyways, moving along, here's a look at the back. Now these crates are actually all exactly the same as they were seen in the Hovertank set. I ended up buying 3 about like a few months ago, so that's kind of why I have 3. But they all fit on perfectly, and I really do love how it looks on the back. I can see that one's missing one of those pole pieces. But anyways, it looks really nice on the back. I added a dark bluish gray stripe on each side, and that's actually kind of to represent kind of like the end of the main platform, and then like separate the side and the main platform, and also to give it a bit of more nice color. You can see I just added a modified plate on the bottom, and I think that looks really nice as well. Once again, here we have a look, oops, sorry about that, but here we have a look at the front again, and yes, it can open up. So the original set, you kind of could open it, you could see the pieces that actually make it open, and that kind of looks a little bit ugly because it's so easily visible. So instead, what I ended up doing was I just made this whole section pop off. So it's a little tough to do, but basically all you need to do is just pop your finger in here, and this section all pops off. And that reveals the interior. So this is kind of like the whole section. It does actually have these pieces on the bottom, and then there's a look kind of at the hatch, which, oops, closes like such. And I think that looks really nice. So here's actually a look at the interior. This piece popped off. But on the interior, you can fit 3 minifigures with ease. And actually, now that I notice it, you could fit 4. So what I did was I ended up adding these 2 back seats with like the modified, what are they called? The 1x2 jumper plates, such that they're off-centered just a bit, and that way you can fit 2 minifigures. And actually, I just noticed you can pretty much do that for the front too, so I could end up adding 4 seats in there. But that might be a little bit too cluttered, so I am fine with 3. You can see we got a few levers there, and those are the controls. So here's how they all look inside. Really nice, actually. I'm really happy I was able to fit 3 minifigures inside. And it's actually quite spacious, so you can add some blasters on the side here. There is actually a stud there. That's actually for a blaster for the pilot. But overall, I think it looks really nice on the front. But anyways, there you go. There's a look at the interior. And there's a look at my custom LEGO Star Wars Rogue One Imperial Hovertank. So thank you so much for watching this review. If you enjoyed it, a thumbs up would be great, as this was actually quite a bit of fun to make. It took me about almost 2 weeks actually on and off building. I was kind of busy also, so that's kind of why it took longer. But I actually really do love this build, and in the future I would love to make more. As to make this, it did take actually like probably parts from 2 Rogue One Imperial Hovertank sets and more parts in my collection. So it's definitely requires more parts to build. So maybe in the future I'd love to order more parts and maybe build 2 or 3 of these because I think these look really nice, especially with the orange crates on the back. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this review. Or this custom build review. If you enjoyed it, a thumbs up would be great, and do not forget to subscribe down below for more. This is BreakWizard59. Stay tuned for more videos coming very soon, and I'll see you all next time.